Go from a fan of the show to star of the show. Send us your opinions now, and they could be discussed live on today's show. Welcome to the Rod Pedersen Show.
Good morning, Canada. Canadian sports fans around the world, welcome to the Rod Pedersen Show on this Thursday, September 26th. Thanks for joining us for morning coffee. It's a little rainy where we are in this part of the world. Yeah, we're in the bunker here. I'm Rod Pedersen. He's Darren DuPont here for the warm-up. If I'm Shrek, he's the donkey.
Somebody once told me the world
I love the donkey. It's probably my favorite character on the show.
Donkey! Oh, what a great show today. A lot of football coming up today, which I know will please, well, and hockey talk too, that'll please our in-studio guest, the Silver Fox, Kelly Rempel, sports talk and 80s rock. The Silver Fox, Kelly Rempel, will be with us coming up in the second segment. Along the way today, some football guys. Brendan Taman, Grey Cup winning general manager of the Saskatchewan Roughriders. Also, he was with just about every team. And we'll talk to him about that. BT will be with us.
Yeah, I saw him in the control room trying to get his audio and lining it up.
Has he shaved?
No.
No, of course not.
Of course
Nor
not.
have you. BT will be with us. Our director of scouting, Craig Smith, will be in the bunker. Those two won a Grey Cup together with the Riders, and they were together with the Bombers too. Moose Jaw Warriors general manager Alan Miller will drop by as the Dub gets fired back up tomorrow night. And our NHL insider, Rich Sutter, will be with us in an appearance brought to you by Great Western Brewing. Richie is asked to be paid in beer, and GW was more than happy, as were we, to oblige Richie from Hockey's First Family. Show number 82. Got one?
Yeah, Delaney Walker.
You were ready to go.
I was ready. Don't worry. Naaman, of course.
Naaman Roosevelt,
Yeah.
Jason Claremont,
Yeah.
Jason
JC.
Witten from the National Hockey League, Martin Straka. For you young kids, look it up. He was great on Sega.
Wasn't he?
And Donald Audette. Wanted to read the morning just to get you caught up on what's going down. Jacob Waguespack put up a much-needed quality start, going 6 innings for the Blue Jays in their 3-2 win over the Baltimore Orioles at Rogers Center last night. Brady Tkachuk had a big night in Vancouver. The sophomore forward scored 2 goals and set up 2 more as the Sens beat the Canucks 6-2 in preseason play. And the big one, Maple Leafs GM Kyle Dubas learned of the allegation against Auston Matthews the same way many fans did on Twitter. Dubas addressed reporters following Toronto's 3-0 preseason victory over the Habs last night. He says no one in the organization had any indication the team's star center was facing a charge of disorderly conduct and disruptive behavior stemming from an incident 4 months ago in Arizona until the news broke online. Heaven knows there's enough talk on TSN and Sportsnet all about that, so we're not going to go, and we talked a lot about it yesterday, but I will just ask you this, because Mike Babcock said a similar thing as Dubas. Do you believe them?
Yes, I do. And this is the one thing, our friend Dustin Nielsen put this on Twitter when talking about the Auston Matthews situation, and it just brings it all full circle. And he kind of said that, Matthews is not ready for the captaincy because of how it's been dealt with. And if these guys really found out on Twitter, a good leader would just get out in front of it and open up about it and say, look, this happened. You're probably going to hear about this, and here's how we'll deal with it, right? Instead, kind of sit back, wait, and maybe it won't come out, maybe it won't come out. We've all been there, right? I'm just not going to say anything, and maybe they won't know. And then all of a sudden it comes out, and your general manager and your coach, as far as we know, find out on social media, and now you've got to kind of come back and react. At least he admitted it now, but what are you going to do? It's out there. So that's why he's not captain material yet, because it's not about making the mistake or not making the mistake. We do that. It's about how you deal with it.
Well, Babcock said that he just found out about it on Tuesday.
Yeah.
I found out about it on Tuesday.
Yeah.
So I'm sorry, I don't believe Mike Babcock. How would I find out about it the same day the coach of the Leafs and they met in Scottsdale this summer, did they not? He was there to visit Auston Matthews. So anyways, the last thing on that, the latest I read on The Athletic this morning, because the videos come out of the incident. Have you seen where Auston Matthews' dad's involved in this now?
No.
They went to Matthews' dad when the incident happened and told him what his son had did. He didn't believe it. He accused the security guard, the female security guard, of lying, said, "My son would never do such a thing. You're lying." Well, she pulled off the GoPro. They pulled the video, showed it, and there's your son. And she said, I wasn't going to press charges, but they were being such jerks about it that I did.
Wow.
So there's your life lesson. You might get away with some of this stuff if you at least don't act like a donkey and apologize for it.
Yeah.
In the Athletic story, they said to Auston Matthews, you might get charged and arrested. He goes, I don't care. So, don't.
When you're on top of the world, you truly think you're invincible, I think.
Right. Well, I've been thinking this a lot about Antonio Brown, who probably, by the way, is just like, thank you, Auston Matthews, taking the spotlight off me for a couple of days. But when you get treated like you're special for your whole life, you start to think you're special. Newsflash.
Yeah.
So to football, because that's why a lot of people are tuning in. Our daily poll, which is Canada's game of the week? That's our poll for Capital Auto Mall, Universal Collision Center. We got some doozies in the CFL. Hamilton at Winnipeg, Edmonton at Ottawa, Saskatchewan at Toronto, Montreal at BC. The runaway winner is Hamilton at Winnipeg on Friday Night Football.
And it should be. And it should be. That is easily Canada's game of the week. It's got the most intrigue as we get now, through this part of the season. They're all big games, but that's a playoff style game. And we want those games that have those playoff implications. And we want to keep finding out if teams are for real. And the biggest one is Winnipeg. Find out how they can, bounce back. That's huge.
As we roll through the warm-up, we get to the topics that will be the theme throughout the day. So that's going to be the poll for the next 24 hours. But there are some other things that have come out in the CFL. Jonathan Hefney, former Bombers, Stampeders defensive back, might have played with a few other teams, but that's where I remember him from. You know that he had a career-ending injury. The CFL wouldn't pay for it. He, yesterday, was sentenced to 9 years in jail for cocaine trafficking. And there are people that I've seen on Twitter, mostly fans. I didn't really see media, but they're saying the CFL should own this because you forced him into dealing cocaine. And it's the CFL's fault that he's going to jail for 9 years. Look, Jonathan Hefney was a bad dude before any of this stuff happened with the arm injury. So he took the easy way out. Mm-hmm. And as a guy like myself that works in the recovery field now full time, I know drug dealers. It's good, easy money. It's very easy to get into for some people. Jonathan Hefney took the easy way out. It's easy money. Don't blame the CFL. Am I wrong on that?
No, I think you're bang on. We all have choices to make, right? I mean, when he leaves, there are other options. There are other options. Even if you don't have an education, even if maybe your skill set is only football, there are still other options. So you make that choice to take the easy route and, you get what you get.
There's a lot of other people that could go down that easy way.
Oh, yeah.
And didn't. So don't blame the CFL. Jonathan Hefney is going where he belongs. I'm sorry. You talked about the Bombers improving. Oh, are they going to be mad tomorrow night at IG Field?
Oh,
spitting mad, and they're going to take it out on Hamilton.
And they're going to be mad and the fans are going to be mad if things don't go well right away. I wonder how long that takes.
Well, I was reading a quote from Paul LaPolice this morning in the Winnipeg Sun. The offensive coordinator of the Bombers is taking the blame for a late second quarter interception thrown by Chris Streveler in the Montreal meltdown the other day. And he says, it's my bad. Not everybody on the field on our offense knew exactly what was going to be asked of them. That's on me. And Chris Streveler, as Rod Black calls him, Streveler the leveler, said, no, that's wrong. No, I threw the interception. It's not on Paul. There's a leader, though.
Yeah.
Taking it right on the schnoz.
Well, and we saw that right from the get-go with Cody Fajardo when we had the live mic games, and he always taking it on himself, right? And now we're seeing it from Streveler. That's what you want out of your leader, and now it's bringing up the questions that maybe when Matt Nichols is healthy, maybe you got to stay with Streveler. But that's for another day.
Well, to me, the story here is Paul LaPolice taking the blame for a pretty serious interception at the time. It's not even his fault. Leaders take the blame, even when it's not their fault, taking the heat off other people in the organization. That's why Paul LaPolice will be a head coach sooner than later in the CFL. Maybe next year in Winnipeg if they don't get it done this year. Read on The Athletic as well that Marcel Desjardins, I did not know this, but apparently the GM of the Ottawa Redblacks went down at halftime last Saturday and kicked some ass of his players. And the coaches didn't like it because they were getting mollywopped by the BC Lions in TD Place in Ottawa's building, and Marcel Desjardins went down and ripped the team at halftime. My question to you, and it will be to the panel and to the viewers, is does the GM, is he welcome in a locker room? Should he be in a locker room, dressing room, whatever you say? I say as a GM, he can go where the hell he wants. That's what I think.
Yeah, that's interesting because
he's everybody's boss except for the owner.
He is. He signs all the contracts, right? He makes all the contracts, so he can go down there and kick some ass for sure. The one thing I noticed, it didn't work. It didn't work. Clearly, they didn't wake up in the second half. But when you're frustrated, yeah, I can understand that for sure. I don't like it in that situation. That can happen maybe the next day at practice. You can maybe come down and address the team and be like, okay, the principal's coming down to really, address this Monday morning, first thing in the morning. But in the middle of the game, that's frustrating, and I think it shows a little bit of a lack of composure, perhaps. But I also understand the frustration.
A lot of pressure.
And I'd probably want to do the same thing. So, yeah, by no means do I think that, I don't know. I think I understand. I am sympathetic to him for wanting to do it, but I don't think he should have.
I think if the GM's in there all the time, inappropriate. If he comes down once in 5 years, go wherever the hell you want.
Yeah.
Shivers did the same thing with the Riders in 06, and like 2 days later, he was shown the door. And two last things, just on the Riders. They are boarding a jet for Toronto today. They'll take on the Argos on Saturday. If you follow reports coming out of Mosaic Stadium yesterday, the decision to insert Jordan Williams-Lambert into the lineup, somebody, if he goes in, which we assume he will go in, will be either Manny Arsenault or Naaman Roosevelt coming out. I believe this is just Craig Dickinson playing games, not in a bad way, but just a little cat and mouse game. Probably took both Arsenault and Naaman Roosevelt and Williams-Lambert on the trip.
Yeah, I would think so.
They got a charter. They got lots of room. What's another hotel room?
Yeah.
And we won't know until they either run out of the tunnel or one guy's going to come off, one guy will go on in terms of the roster, and we'll know the day before.
Yeah.
But do you really believe Naaman Roosevelt's coming out? Because I don't.
I don't either. I don't know. I know the production's dropped off from him being a leading receiver in the CFL, and he's got the skill set. He's the right guy. He can get back to that. But again, we hold so much value to the name, right? We hold so much value to Naaman Roosevelt because of what he did being a top receiver in the CFL, but he's not that receiver anymore. He's not a number one receiver in the CFL, like a top 3 or 4 receiver in the CFL right now. He's not putting up those numbers. Shaq Evans is our number one receiver. Manny Arsenault, we talked about, you see his name and how great he was for such a career. We think he can still be that same top end receiver. So, yeah, I don't know. I really honestly think it could be either Naaman Roosevelt or Manny Arsenault, but I feel like they're going to give Jordan Williams-Lambert a shot. And I think he'll be on the roster.
And Clark, just before we break, can you put up the guy's comment from Thunder Bay, Ontario? We've got a new viewer from Thunder Bay, Ontario, Ryan Bliznikoz. Are you related to Fred Bolitnikov? He says, "Good morning from Thunder Bay. Am I the only one?" Others in Thunder Bay, let us know if Ryan's the only person tuning in from Thunder Bay, Ontario today. And as a matter of fact, as we roll, coming back next segment, let us know where you are viewing from today, because we always like it so much. And we've got a big new feature coming up this morning, presented by Saskatchewan Snow Beef. Ian Crosby over there between Regina and Moose Jaw. I think Caronport is where he gets his mail. He's driving today with a bunch of Holsteins from Moose Jaw to Madison, Wisconsin.
Wow.
He's sponsoring the WHL Prospect Report every Thursday. We've timed it up so that Rems could be here for it, the Silver Fox. I won't say who that player is. It's coming up, along with Warriors GM Alan Miller, by the way. But just a thank you to Sask Snow Beef for the huge feed they put on. We should have put a photo of that up.
Oh, man. That was something else.
Clark could probably get it real fast.
Crave Kitchen and Bar.
All the expendables here.
Yeah, Crave Kitchen and Bar uses Sask Snow Beef product. They supply it. And so they invited us down. They put us in a room, and they just fed us all the food, the ribeye and the strip steak, and you name it.
Tenderloin.
Oh, tenderloin, everything. And these sandwiches melt in your mouth with all the sauces and all the fixings. I said, it's like we're going to the electric chair the next day because it was...
I feel like
it was that. It was that.
I ate too much.
It was that good. It was that good.
I I hear these guys scrambling over here. Chairs are being knocked over in the room next to us. They're trying to get a photo of it. We'll get it throughout the program today. But the Expendables, our crew, asked down -2.
Yeah.
Paul and Ryan, they fed us. It was great. Mariah, the server, took care of us so well. Took the photo. And so Crave and Local and Fresh. Tyler, I finally got it right. Our sales manager over there gives me the thumbs up. Oh, I thought he just pulled his collar closed like Urkel style over there. Urkel might be his new nickname. Anyways, thank you to Ian, where your prospect report is coming up. And thank you to Sass Snow Beef. It's like Kobe beef, but better.
But better. And then want to give a shout out to Modern Men. Went and saw Jasmine afterwards as the sponsors were taking care of us yesterday and got a haircut and talked about, cleaned up the beard a little bit and the full facial deal. I put it all on Instagram. And so that was really cool too. So you're going to have to get down there and check them out. But awesome to be treated by such great partners we have of the show.
This is the warm-up. Kelly Rempel in the bunker. Next on the way in hour 1, Rich Sutter of the Columbus Blue Jackets and Rogers Sportsnet. It's the Rod Pedersen Show on Facebook Live and listen live at rodpedersen.com.
You're watching Rod Pedersen On Demand. For more of the Rod Pedersen Show, visit rodpedersen.com or follow Rod Pedersen on social media.